The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here, right here. And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for
you. This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening and viewing friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of us who are new to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Well, today, I wanted to share some of my thoughts and some of my emotions that have gone through I guess my entire life when it comes to replenishing. As you know, we just completed the body code workshop back in November 5th and 6th, and it was amazing. But even the things that we love to do can deplete us. And so I thought that, what do we do? How do we create replenishment into our life so that our emotional, spirit, mind, and body account remains in balance? Or if it tips the scale where you know that you're kind of out of balance, then how do you regain that back again? So, since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am grateful that I have this opportunity to share with you. Now, today we pre-recorded this class because I am going to be, at the time that this airs, I will be getting ready to be with my grandbabies. I'm going to be taking care of them for a while. And so I wanted to just be free. Again, part of what we do to set ourselves up for success when it comes to replenishment. I didn't want to be managing, like doing the class live and then having to do all the post-production and then, then rushing to make sure that they get out of school, that I'm there when they get out of school on time. And so I want to be able to create that balance, which many of us allow this out of balance situation to happen over and over and over in our life. And so this is the time where we get to set ourselves up for success. Now, I knew going into the body code or any workshop that I plan that the week before and the week after, that's where I need the most replenishment. Getting there, I just need to be diligent and mindful of the time I spend to create what I want to create. So going into the workshop, I had a wonderful 2 days that I had a pre-recorded shows and then or classes, depending on how you view them. I view them as classes, but people call them shows. So and so do I, because they are. So then we had Dr. Day, and I knew that that was going to be, just hello, Dr. Day, and then she takes off with it. And so I knew that the week going into the workshop was going to be easy enough for me to manage, plus all the things that needed to happen. And of course, last minute things always happen that create that hypersensitivity that, ooh, what if this doesn't happen? And it did when I realized that we did not have the sound system the week before, and I had to start finding a sound system that was affordable. The first budget that I got was like in the $300-$400 range. But then when the venue closed, then I had to focus on a $2,300 budget for the same thing. Nah. I am going to look for everything I possibly can to make it affordable. That is my goal with the class, with all the products that I bring in. I want to make sure that I live my life genuine to what I say I want. So that created a little bit of where I have to really look for something different new. So I was glad that I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself. Why do we do that? Why do we put pressure on ourselves? Who are we competing with? That's the question we get to ask ourselves. Who am I competing with? Am I competing with somebody else who makes it look flawless? Or am I competing with someone that makes it look like really hard? Or am I just being who I am? So competition, comparison, that always brings us down. So having that week going in, and then the week after, I normally give myself 1 to 2 days of rest, replenishment, but that didn't quite happen because what I didn't see was that there were a lot of things that needed to happen for the following week. So there's a lot that goes into the classroom that I do for free, basically. And when it baffles me when people get upset with me when I charge for a workshop that takes a lot of time. So to those people who get upset with me that there is a fee to anything I do outside the classroom, then I would like to hire you to come work for me for free so that you can do everything that I do so I don't have to do it anymore. Because obviously you don't feel that there's a value to what people do. So anyway, sometimes people say things that I just ignore or delete or whatever, but it is there, that mentality, that mindset of entitlement. I want everything for free. Well, it doesn't happen that way. So that entitlement that happens, all those things cause us to deplete ourselves, to deplete what we want out of life. We want to be able to be balanced and healthy and strong, but we're constantly doing things that sabotage that intention. Does that sound like you? It has sounded like me in the past, but I've learned to work with who I am. I am not going to balance anybody else. I am not trying to compare to anybody else. I do me. I love when, oh gosh, I had a guest in the classroom that I said, hey, listen, we dance at the beginning to kind of release energy or any kind of things like that you might be hoarding on to. That's what we do, is we dance, and when you dance, you kind of release whatever preconceptions that you have. And he said, you do you, I do me. And you know what? It is so true. Nobody has to dance in the classroom. I dance in the classroom with you so that we can move. And movement is so valuable. But I don't have to make people do what I do. I'm okay with it. And I was okay with him saying this to me. And he was okay with me dancing. It was beautiful. Again, when we need to control everybody around us, that creates a need to replenish, because it is exhausting. When you give up the need to control, you will find that your life will be less in need of that replenishment. And so these are little tips along the way that I have learned, not only as my personal journey, but also as a life coach. I coach people to do the same. And you know what? If your coach can't manage their life, they're not going to be able to give you good advice. So make sure that when you go to a coach, a doctor, some form of therapy, that the person that is performing that action is clearly intentional with what they believe, that their life matches that. What you see is what you get with me. I don't talk to you about forgiveness and then hold grudges with everybody that has done me wrong. No, the reason why I can talk to you about what forgiveness is all about and how important forgiveness is because I've experienced it and I've also done the work with it. That's the only way we as coaches can support you with anything that you do. So today, I want to ask you the question, have you ever felt empty? Have you ever felt like, man, I don't have any energy, not my body, not my mind, not my spirit? Have you ever felt that I don't have anywhere to turn to? Hopefully you can turn to the classroom when you need a friend. And so what I say to you is, at what point in your life do you feel that it's okay to say, I'm exhausted, I don't have any energy, I can't do one more thing, my plate is so full that if I do anything, like I call it spinning plates. Have you ever seen a plate spinner and you know they have just the right amount of plates? Because when they spin one too many plates, they fall down. And that's what I called myself a long time ago. I used to call myself a great plate spinner. But sometimes thinking you're a multitasker is not a good thing. You know, multitasking is a lie. Being a good multitasker is a lie. Something's going to give. Yes, you may be good under pressure. I can relate to that. I'm good under pressure. But there are times where that pressure just paralyzes me. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? So if that sounds like you, where you feel like, wow, even when I'm drained, I don't know what to do. Well, here's a question to you. So how do you think your bank account, your financial bank account would look like if all you did was make withdrawals? I'm going to make a withdrawal to pay this. I'm going to make a withdrawal to go have fun. I'm going to make a withdrawal to, and never make a deposit. What do you think that account is going to look like when your money runs out? It's not going to look good, right? You're going to owe fees. You're going to feel, that, there's a lot more that you have to take care of. There's just so much that goes into, oh, excuse me, I got hiccups, goes into creating an account, a financial account that is balanced, that you could put more deposits in than you make withdrawals. But sometimes you got to make withdrawals. We have life, we got bills. And that is true for our spirit, mind, and body. So where are you? Where's your spirit? Where's your mind? Where's your body right now? Take an assessment. Breathe in, put your hand over your heart, close your eyes, whatever creates privacy for you, and take an assessment of that account. Now, if you tell me I can't tap into that, then I tell you, what if you could? What if you could tap into your mind and your spirit and your body? Just take that time and just listen and write down what it's telling you. For me, after the body code, I knew I needed time off. And that Monday, I took time off, but unfortunately, there were things that were happening that I needed to take care of. And I did, but I went back to that and I'll share with you some of the ways that I replenish later on. But we've got to be aware of how that your body feels. Is your mind like you can't think of another thought? Is it like foggy and you just cannot handle anything? Are you feeling emotionally drained? Those are things that are a barometer, like a pulse. If you take your finger and you feel your pulse, I can feel my pulse. And this is the things that I know that are causing, like my pulse is fast. Maybe I just went on a jog. My pulse is slow. Maybe I just woke up. So whatever it is, be in tune with your body. Be in tune with your spirit and your mind. It's very important. No different than when you're setting yourself up for success, right? And you want to go to the gym. Like last night, I put out my clothes that goes to the gym. If I put out my clothes that go to the gym the next morning or to work out the next morning, and I do it the night before, I know my intention. My intention is to do it. But if I say I'm going to work out, but then I sleep in late and I don't take out my clothes, and it becomes this promotion, like commotion to, oh, I don't want to wake up my husband. Oh, I'm just going to sleep in. My intention was just to sleep in. Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you get anything out of the class today, is to be honest with your intention. Don't lie to yourself, because based on your results, on everything in life, based on your result, you can trace it back to your intention. So if your result was, I left a message, maybe your intention was to just leave a message. It wasn't to strike a deal or talk to this person or reconnect with them. There are things that you say, and whatever you say, everything you think is an affirmation. So if you're affirming to call somebody or to leave a message to somebody, then that's what will happen. But if you affirm to reconnect with somebody, you will make sure that you set yourself up for success by texting them ahead of time, scheduling an appointment, or just saying, this is probably better time of the day for them. So I'm going to call during that time so that I can reconnect with them. So based on your results, you know where your intention lies. And I know that sounds unfair to certain things, but deep down inside, sometimes we set ourselves up for success or failure. It depends on where you are looking for, what you're looking for, and where your comfort zone is. So I just recently had a friend say to me, I can't stand it. Everything you manifest, you get. And I'm like, why would you not stand that about me? Well, I just can't. I think what she was trying to say is that she wants that. But instead of saying, I can't stand it, which is what she doesn't want, what does she want? So I said to her, well, if you can't stand it, why can't you stand it? And now what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? Don't be unhappy that whatever I declare or whatever I want, I create. Why be unhappy about that? Be happy for me. I'm happy for you. When you create, there's enough abundance in the world. So I taught her how to create abundance. I am open and willing to receive abundance now. There's certain things that you say that will create what you want. If you say, I don't want to be tired, I don't want to be exhausted, I don't want to be sick, then what you're focusing on is exhaustion. It's tired, sick. That's what you're focusing on, and that's the messages you're giving to your brain. Get that. Practice it. Practice what you want, and even if it seems silly at the moment, just know that your brain is the command center of the universe of cells in your body. And your brain can command those cells to be joyful, abundant, happy, loving, loved, all those feelings. Or you can focus on what you don't want, the lack that you don't have in your life, the lack in your relationship, the lack in your finances. So the choice is yours. I choose abundance. I choose to focus on what I want. And there are times that fear gets the best out of all of us. And you're worried about, oh man, if that traffic jam happens, I will be late. And you know what? I knew it was going to happen because I manifested it. So be careful with those thoughts. Be careful. Now, replenishment is something that we all must do, not have to do, must do, be willing to do, to be willing to create. Because if we don't, we get more of what we don't want. So what do we want? What do you want? I want to be healthy. I want to feel wise. I want to do everything I possibly can to stay as young as I can, till I take my last breath. Even at 100, I want to feel like I'm 80 or 70 or whatever it is that my age takes me to. Whenever God says you're taking your last breath, I pray that that last breath will be taken with energy and gusto, love, surrounded by all those people that mean so much to me. Not because I acted foolish and ate the wrong foods and drank the wrong drinks and allowed my body to create disease because I was unwilling to not forgive. I was unwilling to forgive. I was unwilling to forgive myself, let alone others. There's so many things that we do to ourselves that is so, so wrong and prolongs the misery that we face in our life. But some people love misery. Some people feel comfortable in their misery. They get payoffs out of their misery. And people feel sorry for you in your misery. But that's not where I want. I want people to cheer me on. I want people to rejoice around me of my successes and also try to build me up in my failures, which, by the way, no such thing as failure. But I'm using these terminologies so that you can understand. I'm speaking your language. These are growth opportunities. So understand that we all need to replenish from time to time. Maybe you need to replenish because you have little kids or a spouse that doesn't support you or a friendship that just drains that they only call you to complain. And when you hang up the phone, you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go walk on the beach, or I need a glass of wine, or, depending on where you replenish in a way where your body will continue to feel strength and energize, where you can still exercise even if you feel like you just cannot move another muscle. So the Bible talks about replenishment. In fact, in Psalm 23, it says, that's the Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He refreshes my soul. In Jeremiah 31, it says, for I will satisfy the weary soul, and every languishing soul I will replenish. In Matthew 11, it says, come to me, all who labor and who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. In 1 Corinthians 16, it says, for they refresh my spirit as well as yours. So replenishment's even in the Bible. When Jesus felt like he was around the multitudes would like try to take up to the point where the woman that touched him, he felt energy leave his body. This is what happens to us. Jesus was an example, whether you believe that he's the Son of God or a prophet. He was a great example to us all of how to replenish. He would just go and be away. And a lot of us sometimes shut everything down and shut themselves down. That is not the most optimal way to do it. The best way to do it is to find every night, little bit by little, you replenish what you took out. It's just like when you buy in a credit card with a credit card. Buy only if you know you can pay it off at the end of the month. But if you buy now, pay never, eventually you will go bankrupt. If you withdraw from your financial account, and eventually your financial account will go bankrupt. If you just buy more than what you make in your life, eventually you will have to file bankruptcy. Why wait? Why not live within your means? Why not emotionally, spiritually, and physically give yourself and take away within your means? Understand that pulse, that if I say yes and I am resentful of that yes, then that's going to cause my body to go bankrupt. Those are all these things that you just know your limitations. Now, there are times where I feel limitless. And those are times where I have a surplus of energy. But just like the disciples in the mountaintop where they saw Moses and Elijah, the transfiguration, when they just wanted to stay in the mountaintop, but that's not where we live. We live in the valley. We need to figure out how we can become valley people and be nourished in the valley, feel strong in the valley. Does this make any sense to you? Am I speaking your language? And if not, you can make a comment. I'll check them out later. I'll comment later. You can email at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. There are different ways that we can replenish. One of the ways that you can do that is to become a subscriber at whenyouneedafriend.com. At whenyouneedafriend.com, this is where we learn and grow together. This is where we replenish. This is where we become aware of what our body is telling us, what our spirit, what our soul, what our mind is telling us. We take that pulse and we say, okay, I want to be responsible. I want to be responsible. There are times, I will be honest with you. I'm always honest with you, but sometimes you just want to share the good. I will tell you, there have been times where I could have fallen asleep at the wheel while I was driving. As a matter of fact, I did. I remember pulling, and this was before the radio show, before I became a coach, before all those things. I was pulling into the garage. I had just come back from a cruise, and I don't think we slept that whole weekend. We had so much fun with the kids, and I remember thinking, I need a nap. And I remember driving over the bridge and just like going off to the side, and I remember going, I just need to get home and take a nap. I just need to get home and take a nap. Well, I should have manifested I need to get home, out of my car and in my bed and take a nap. Be specific, because when I pulled into my driveway, I crashed into my garage, like the border of the garage door. I literally crashed into it. I dozed off. Thank God it wasn't on the bridge, that it was at the house. And thank God no one else was hurt. It was just the car and damage to the car. But the reality is, I did not measure where I was. I just would play until I crashed. And we don't want that for ourselves. What we want is to be able to replenish. We want to replenish our whatever it is that we've drained. So whenyouneedafriend.com is where you replenish. You can replenish here. And by the way, for those of you who say I say whenyouneedafriend.com too fast, there it is right there, whenyouneedafriend.com. You can find me there. And so you can go to lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. If you have like questions that you want to ask for today's class, you can feel free to do so. You can ask them there. While you're at whenyouneedafriend.com, please know that the way you go beyond the algorithms that are trying to squash this information is by you liking and following and subscribing to all my social media, my website. And when you subscribe to my website, you get gifts. You also get the class, depending on what your parameters are. If you want to receive the audio of the class when it airs, you can do that too. You get the weekly blog and you'll know who's in the classroom. So please subscribe and tell your friends to do the same. Like I said, subscribe to my channels, like them, follow them, share these videos where it's free coaching. It's free coaching to you, and take this information and put it into practice. I also have a private practice where I coach people virtually from anywhere in the world. And so while you're at whenyouneedafriend.com, check now my shop bag, and that's where I have all my products that I love, my beauty products from head to toe, Keep Me Safe Organics, my bands that keep my muscles strong, the B3 bands. We will have them on to oh no, last week we had them on last week. And so we will whatever's in that shop now bag, these are approved items that I absolutely love and I use on a regular basis. Also, you can go to my sponsors page and check out my sponsors. Go to, if you're in the Brevard County area, it's worth a drive to go to the pharmacy in Merritt Island. Ross and the team are just absolutely phenomenal. You tell them that Lily sent you, you get 20% off your first order, or just let them know that you love listening to me talk about them. They're just like stepping into the pharmacy from back then when things were when people could give you an herb and you could get better. So go check them out. And of course, Dr. Jennifer Gramuth, ND of Right Way Health and Wellness, support them the way that they're supporting the classroom. And you can become an enrolled student in the classroom. So always need donations. Always, always. I look for your donations to come in, because this is how God brings abundance to the classroom. It's very difficult to become a sponsor, and because I'm very picky about it, right? And so another thing that I want you to know is that you can become an enrolled student in the classroom, and you can donate $1 or $1,000 a month, whether it's a one-time donation or a frequent donation. Whatever you can do will be very much appreciated. I'll be very grateful for. It is so important that we do everything we possibly can to live the life that we want to live. Also, I wanted to tell you that for Christmas gifts, we have the Nutri Series, Book of Revelation, and 100 Lessons from the Exodus on DVD and online. And so check them out. We also have other do-it-yourself workshops that you can give to your friends or you do yourself. And last but not least, I have to tell you that I'm very excited that we have the I Am the Solution Natural Health Fair. That'll be in Rockledge, Florida. So the side effect, the tagline for the I Am the Solution Natural Health Fair, you know, I have a workshop called I Am the Solution, but this is a natural health fair. You can take a pill or you can take responsibility. That's what coming into the new year, January 21st, 2023, we're going to do the I Am the Solution Natural Health Fair. That's going to be at the Space Coast Health Foundation in Rockledge, Florida. We're going to have wonderful guest speakers, including Anna Maria Bryant Clement of Hippocrates. I believe Dr. Jennifer Gramuth will be there. So if you're planning a trip to Florida, that'll be a great time to do it. It'll be in coordinating your New Year wishes, your New Year, not resolutions, but your awareness of what you want to change and add into your life at that event. We're going to have wonderful vendors that will change the way you look at things. And so we are, sometimes we're nonchalant. We're nonchalant about the way we feel. Like, oh, I'm going to eat this pie, the second pie, and I have this, all this stuff. And as you know, we're going through the M-Cube detox experience, which you're welcome to join at any time because all our sessions are recorded. And if you've ever felt like you have a disease or a diagnosis and you're not getting better, it is time to get the mold, the metals, and everything. And I had my urine toxicology report done, and let me tell you, there was mold and mycotoxins and heavy metals in my body. And so I'm glad that I'm being proactive and doing what I need to do, because this is what we do, is we wait until we crash in order to be defensive or offensive or whatever is the terminology, that's when we're going to try to kind of catch up. But instead, like I always say, why allow yourself to gain 20 pounds when it's so much easier to lose one at a time, to release one at a time? So yeah, I check myself every day. I weigh myself every day, and that gives me a barometer like, oh, okay, so I had too many module dates this weekend, or maybe I had too much to drink this weekend, or maybe I had too much to eat this weekend. You fill in the blanks. You fill in the blanks. And then you can say, okay, I just need to balance it out this week. And isn't it easier to live like this way? But now, if you need to lose or release 20 to 30 pounds, that is, one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. That's how you make your commitments. You renew that commitment. So how do you replenish? How do you get things done in your life? How do you create balance? What are the things in your life that are creating bankruptcy, spirit, mind, and body? How do you replenish? Believe it or not, I will tell you, one of the ways I replenish during the week is I give myself a manicure and a pedicure. Most people like to go out and do this, but I like to do it myself. And once every 6 months or whatever, I'll have a manicure, pedicure done professionally. But for the most part, I love to do it. I like to just be mindless, just maybe I'll put on a funny movie, or and then I'll do my nails, I'll soak my feet, I'll do that. That is a way that I replenish my spirit. If I know that my closet is out of whack, if I see my closet and I've got things on the floor, I know my life is out of balance. So it's time to clean up those messy drawers, messy closet. That's how I replenish. Believe it or not, cleaning up a room helps me feel, oh, my life is back to normal again. My life is back in control. But control is an illusion, isn't it? But at least you feel that, oh, I can relax. Other ways that I replenish is I replenish by being grateful. I am so grateful for everything that happens in life. I'm grateful for the accomplishments, whether I think that they were great successes or growth opportunities. I am grateful for the experiences, and that's where I focus on. Also, resting. Whenever I have an event, like I said, I make sure that there is, like, I set myself up for success going into it, and coming out of it, I do as well. I give myself time to rest. I'm a taskmaster. When I put it on the list, sometimes I can't sleep. This is truth. I just can't sleep, and I get it done. And so I like to get things done from my list. But on those days of rest, I don't walk into like on Thursday evening to Monday morning, I don't walk into my office. I don't check my emails. Now, if it's an emergency, I will make an exception. But for the most part, I set myself at that downtime so that I can just relax. Now, I work very smart during the week, and I have my times where I get things done. And then it gets released and the appropriate time. And so I set myself up for that success so that I don't feel stressed. Now, I know that when I've got a lot of things planned that week, I need to make sure that I get things done ahead of time. So I might do a little bit more on a particular day than I normally do. But I know myself, and I know I can't sleep. So because I want restorative sleep, if I wake up and I say, it's 2:00 in the morning, I need to get back to sleep, and I sit there and toss and turn. No, I don't toss and turn. I get up and I say, thank you, God, for this extra time. And I'll go and I'll work, and then I'll come back to bed. But on those days that I determine that I'm going to rest, I don't care. If there are deadlines, I am going to rest. And I give myself permission to rest. I let myself rest. It's so important. And the rest, I'm talking about restorative sleep as well. And that's between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when your organs, but you have to be asleep. That's when your organs start detoxifying and releasing the toxins so that your body can handle everything that it needs to handle. That's why when you go to bed, you need to be 2 to 3 hours where you haven't eaten anything. Never go to bed with a full stomach, because when you do, then you'll spend your night digesting, not replacing. Okay. So another thing that we can do, and sometimes I do, is I journal. When I have a lot of pent up energy inside of me, or when I know that there's something brewing in me, I just sit My favorite place to go to is the beach and walk the beach. I bring my chair and I sit there after I'm done, where my mind is clear and I can journal. Just write whatever comes to your mind. And if you write like me, I write to God. I wait for responses. I wait to hear what my message in my mind and my spirit tell me. And I write it down too, because I like to go back and read. Sometimes the best advice that I get is the one that I hear in my head after I've asked God for advice. Like I said to you, I pamper myself. I give myself a manicure, or I'll make myself and Robert or the kids a wonderful meal that is healthy, that nourishes, that's really good in nourishment. I don't call going to a restaurant replenishment. Sometimes if I find one that I know is going to feed me the way I want to be fed, then yes, but it's very rare when I find those. They are full of sugar and they're full of foods that I choose not to eat, because I want to replenish my body, get the mold out, get the things that are causing me to have symptoms. And so those are the things that I do. I also exercise. Like this morning, I didn't have a lot of time, so I did a 12-minute workout with my bands, and I felt really good. It had been 2 weeks since I had been able to work out, so I just gave myself the grace to just do a 12-minute full body workout with my bands, and I loved it. I loved that little intro. So for me, because I need to be gentle with myself when I've had lots of things building and brewing, I get to be gentle with myself. So exercise is important. Even if you just jump on the rebounder, or if you're just marching in place, or do jumping jacks, whatever that is for you, do it. There's 168 hours of the week. You just need 4 hours a week of exercise. I am sure that you can find those 4 hours somewhere in those 168 hours in the week. You also get to trust the process. Trust that whatever you've done, whatever you're creating, that you've done the best that you can with what you have. Now it's time to water it, allow God to put sunshine on it, and trust that whatever you do, whatever you create, you keep at it and you keep tweaking it, and you keep, it's like, again, those plate spinners, make sure you have just enough plates that you can create what you want without anything falling down. If you notice that phone calls are being missed, deadlines are being missed, then you know you're doing too much. So just be honest with yourself and say, you know what can I release here from my to-do? What can I release from my to-do, and delegate it to somebody else, so that I can spin all my plates triumphantly. Dance whenever you're feeling like you don't have anything that is like, I am depressed or anxious, or way too many thoughts in my head, or whatever you're saying to yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not. Put on, for me, my favorite is Toby Mac. I love Toby Mac. I used to dance to Pitbull all the time, but I love my music to be uplifting. So I listen to contemporary Christian music, but there's a place for Pitbull still, and I love that as well. So whatever your mood is, Billy Joel or Van Morrison, Annie Lennox, just dance like nobody is watching, nobody is filming, nobody is blogging or posting or texting, whatever. Just dance like nobody is around. And that will replenish your spirit. And again, prayer, but not the kind of prayer that please, 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 I want. Not that kind of prayer. I'm talking about the prayer that is, I am so grateful for these things. And God, if you want this for me, I want it too. That's the kind of gratitude, thankfulness prayer. Again, if you can't achieve that, possibly there could be lack of forgiveness in your life. So let's add that one to the mix. Let's add forgiveness of self and others. What does that look like? It looks like like beautiful music that you can dance to. If you are unwilling to forgive, maybe it's just, again, I'm available as a coach. I believe that that's my strongest specialty is, I love getting people to transform I don't want to forgive. I will never forgive. I will never forget to I am willing to. That right there, those affirmations of I am willing to forgive is the start of the journey of forgiveness. How do I know about forgiveness and have gotten better about forgiveness? And all of you, and I'm not just saying this for me, I'm saying this for my husband as well. If you've been married for a long time, you've got to get good at forgiving one another, especially if they're not physically abusive or drug addicts or harming you in a way, or if they're narcissistic. I am talking about the regular stuff that happens, arguments, discussions, you'll know what that is for you. But what I'm saying to you is that right there will allow your spirit to soar. That is so important in your life, to create that spirit of love, that spirit of caring, that spirit, because if forgiveness is not condoning the other person's behavior. Forgiveness is not trusting the other person. So forgiveness is saying, I am setting myself free. I'm not going to live with these thoughts over and over again because I am punishing myself over and over and over again. Trust, however, is if you forgive the person, doesn't mean that you have to let them back in your life. You can forgive someone from afar. But trust is something the other person needs to earn. Forgiveness is for you. Trust is something they earn. So we've mushed these two emotions or these actions up to the point that they've messed us up. We're unwilling to forgive. And I was talking to someone just recently that they have been in a 10-year relationship, and they walked away from that 10-year relationship, and now the person has really turned their life around. The partner has turned their life around, and they're back together, but they're still harboring the fact that they walked away. The person that walked away is still harboring the reasons why they walked away. There hasn't been that transformation of forgiveness. It's not someone I coach, or else I would have told them that that's what they need to do, is to need to let that go so that that relationship can now get to that next level. How many ways do we hold ourselves back? How many ways do we say to ourselves, we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, I'll never do this? I say never. I mean, I know that there are certain things that I would say I would never do, but until you walk those shoes, you really don't know what you don't know. And so be grace for yourself. Ask for forgiveness for yourself. That is so replenishing. So what do you like to do? How do you keep yourself from replenishing? Do you feel you don't deserve replenishment? Do you feel that, you'd rather wait until you crash and burn and then you'll heed the warnings that I'm giving you today? Are you waiting for that diagnosis before you change the way you eat? Are you waiting for your spouse to leave you before you change your behaviors? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for diabetes to kick in to change the way you eat? Are you waiting for your child to tell you that they really need more time with you before you actually spend more time with them? Do you listen? Do you go to someone and say, how can I best support you, rather than, here, let me help you, let me do it? Well, I have a story about how, don't help me. Ask me how you can help me. Don't just go in there and assume. Now, if you've helped me before and you know this is how I love being helped, then that's how you help. Then you say, hey, do you still need that thing, whatever it is? Do you still, could you use this for yourself? Could you use this time? What are you willing to do to create what you want? What are you willing to do? And of course, the great philosopher, late philosopher, Meatloaf, would say, I would do anything for fill in the blank. For him, it was love. The song goes love. But here is, it could be exercise, it could be better relationships, asking for forgiveness, being more forgiving. It could be a better job. It could be, exercising more. It could be eating better. Whatever that, I would do anything for health. I would do anything for my relationship. I would do anything for my children. But here's what the rest of the song says. But I won't do that. I won't do that. But the question is, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to create what it is that you want? What are you willing to do? Today's class, if you hear anything that I say, is that every thought you think is an affirmation. What are you affirming? Are you affirming life? Or are you affirming death? Are you affirming strength? Are you affirming weaknesses? Are you affirming what? What do you want to affirm? Then focus on what you want. Say what you want. Because if you don't want to die, then you're focusing on death. How do I want to live? So take all these negative thoughts, write them down on a piece of paper, figure out how you're going to create what you want by writing the complete opposite. Rewrite those thoughts in your head every time you have that thought. Rewrite it. I'm exhausted. You know what? I replenish my body. I don't have enough money. You know what? I am abundant. And the God of the universe is sending me so much abundance. So an abundant universe, and I am open to receive. Start your mantra. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. I am love. What is your mantra? I don't have enough. I don't like my spouse. I hate my job. I kicked my dog. What is your mantra? Create what you want. I am abundant. I am healthy. I am creative. I am loving. I am strong. I'm a leader. That is how you create what you want. That's how you replenish every cell in your body, because the command center is dictating what is going to happen next. What's going to happen next for me is the I Am the Solution Natural Health Fair. Please share this with, if you live in Florida, come on down. Dr. Jennifer Grammath is coming from Georgia. Do a field trip, come down from the villages, up from Miami, do all the things you can. It's a one-day natural health fair. I am the solution. We don't need answers. We want solutions, because a lot of people have answers. They don't want to do it. They know the answers, but I am the God in me, the I am in me, and I are the solution. So please consider joining us at the I Am the Solution Natural Health Fair. You can take a pill or you can take responsibility. That is the tagline of the health fair. And we're going to have incredible vendors, incredible speakers, including Anna Maria and Brian Clement, who are from Hippocrates, co-directors of Hippocrates Health and Wellness, are actually Hippocrates Wellness now. And it's Saturday, January 21st, 2023, and that's at the Space Coast Health Foundation in Rockledge, Florida. We're going to start at 9 o'clock and finish at 5. Who knows? Maybe we'll be there later, because I want to see it filled with people. Once we have it up on the website, we're going to have special registration. Of course, it's going to be $12 to get in, but if you are a part of early registration, then that will be $10. So early registration is $10. And of course, we need to pay for everything. So you will help pay for this. You be a part of the solution. not part of the problem. We focus on the problem. We're not going to focus on the problem. We're going to focus on the solution. Oh, by the way, I'll be a speaker too. So I'll get to speak at my own workshop, at my own health fair, natural health fair. What's it going to take for you to create what you want? Are you waiting for that diagnosis? Act as if. Act as if you have that diagnosis. Don't wait. Act now. And who knows, by the time that this airs, maybe we'll have, no, I don't think we might have the page ready, but you won't be able to start buying your tickets until later. But I will let you know with plenty of time so that you can get the early bird registration, which is $10 as opposed to $12. There's going to be lots of vendors to help you get pain-free without medication. There's going to be vendors that will bring candles that have toxin, they're toxin-free, they're beeswax that will help go and connect to the ions and help create fresher air that you breathe. We're going to have incredible vendors that will let you see that, wow, I can have this in my home. I could create this in my life. Yes. So how do you replenish? You replenish by being the solution, by not waiting on anyone of telling you, oh, here, take this pill. Not waiting on anyone for, oh, this is your diagnosis. No, that's a symptom. That is a symptom. And it is time to stop the madness. It is time to be your own medical detective, your own MD. What are you waiting for? So as soon as we have the link up, it might be up. I will let you know if it's up. Look at the description below and I'll tell you the link that you need to go to. You may not be able to buy right away, but you'll be able to have somewhere to go to. Again, you can always come to whenyouneedafriend.com. This is where we learn and grow together. And please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Mwah!
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional